Hey guys, it's Ximena from Chips and Salsa, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I teach homeschool Spanish. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. I'm missing my sidekick DeeDee. I'm Ximena, and we are called Chips and Salsa. We are normally two homeschool moms that bring you fun, practical, and encouraging tips. Today we are going to focus on homeschool Spanish, and since DeeDee doesn't teach her kids Spanish, I just decided to do this video on my own. This is a collab with Dionne from Short and Sweet Languages. Check out her YouTube channel if you want to learn Spanish, or if you want your kids to learn conversational Spanish. She's got these really short and sweet videos where she teaches you a phrase or two and you're able to learn it, gradually. So if you don't know about her, make sure that you check her channel out, subscribe, like her video. Thanks, Dionne, for participating in our collab. Now, I should let you know that I have a high schooler and a 6th grader now, but my children have been learning Spanish since they were itty bitty, since the womb, really. I am from Mexico City, so I speak Spanish fluently, and I read it and I write it. I put my children into a Spanish immersion school before I homeschooled, so they both were fully immersed at home with family, and also in kindergarten were taught how to read and how to write Spanish, which was a great help for me. I didn't start homeschooling my son until after 1st grade, and my daughter got a good solid 3 years of a good amount of Spanish at school. So that was very helpful for me. Now, honestly, even with all of that, it was still hard to keep them speaking Spanish. Now, my husband and I speak English to one another mostly. And I mean, we both speak Spanish, but we kind of go back and forth. And we used to have this really set rule of speaking only Spanish at home. And my son had some speech problems when he was younger, and just English was much easier for him to articulate. So he kind of started speaking to us in English, and we just kind of all switched to English without even realizing it. And now we speak English primarily at home, which makes teaching Spanish in homeschool a lot more important. So I'm a lot more intentional about doing it. Now, I have to confess that I am not consistent. I used to be so much better at this when we first started. With my daughter going into high school and kids getting older and harder assignments, Spanish is the one that suffers the most. So I've had to incorporate some fun things where we can just keep it going on a consistent level, but where it's not like a full-blown lesson. So number one, my tool that I use, I have my kids do Duolingo. I had them do Duolingo Spanish for a long time, just so that they can really get their grammar correct. Sometimes they would jumble up their past tense and present tense verbs and stuff like that, which would really irritate me. So I had them study Duolingo for a little bit. It's a free app. It's really great. They can do it on their phone or on their tablet or on their Chromebook, and it's really cute. So it's easy. They can do 1 or 2 lessons a day, and that's easy. Now they're both studying different languages that they want to do. My son's doing Portuguese and my daughter's doing Japanese, which is really cool. I wanted to show you what I did at the beginning, which was so effective. For me, it's not only about language, it's also about culture. So if you are a family of Mexican descent and you really want to immerse your children in the culture, or not only Mexican, but any other Latin American or even Spanish, and you live in the United States and you're like, oh, we're so far removed from the culture, maybe this will be of inspiration to you. So we did the first year. This was probably my favorite year that we taught Spanish. I had them do a little scrapbook, just a little scrapbook that they filled out, and in it we learned traditional Mexican songs that were important for me as a Mexican, for my children to know. So we have the México lindo y querido, México lindo y querido. I love singing. And then Cielito Lindo. If you are not Mexican, you might know it as the ay, 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 ay song. Anyway, so there's a lot of these traditional songs in here with the composers, and they got to draw a little picture with it. But I had them memorize 1 per month, so they knew it really well. And it's really cool to hear them sing that, like whenever we have Mexican parties or our September 16th is our Independence Day, so it's super fun to do that. I also, with that, I had them memorize all the states and capitals of Mexico, which is really cool. And I have a map always in my homeschool room with the states and capitals. I also made these little sheets, and I decided that they were going to study a state a month. There's a lot of states in Mexico, so we only studied like 7 states that year. But I printed out, I made this little sheet where they were able to, what's the climate, what's the region, population, different traditionals, regional traditions, regional food from that state, and other interesting facts. And then, kind of for them to draw the actual state, the capital, all that stuff. So there's so much in here. And I used, again, if you are fluent in Spanish, this is another little tip. I actually went to the government page for Mexico, the CEP, and they have all these PDFs for like 4th grade level, which was just fine for my kids because of the high level of Spanish, where you can read about all the states. It was so cool. They have history, they have geography, all this really cool things. So that was one year, and I loved that. The other year, we did a similar thing, just kind of a scrapbook, and we did study about, here's the national anthem, again, states and capitals for them to always have. And I had them study a little bit of Mexican independence history. And then after that, just kind of, so like the legend of La Llorona, things that are interesting to them, and have them also write about their own experiences. So when we visited the pyramids of Teotihuacan, they were able to write about it there and journal about it. This is from McGraw-Hill, that was actually recommended to me by a teacher. And it's just a textbook with short stories. But in it, there's spelling, there's vocabulary, there's grammar, and it comes with this workbook. I got this on Amazon. It was quite expensive. We don't use this too much because I'm not a worksheet type of person, but it's good to have. I also have this Bible in Spanish that I have them read, and it's kind of like told as a narrative, one full narrative, one story, which is really cool. You can't miss the fun Mexican games like Loteria and just that kind of thing that is gonna not only get them to practice their Spanish, but also enjoy parts of the culture that are so unique to, in my case, Mexican culture. Last but not least, one of my favorite things that we're doing, which we're not very consistent on, but it's definitely a treasure. And it's something that I honestly want to just encourage everybody to do something like this, even if it's in your own native language. My kids are very blessed to have all 4 of their grandparents, and all 4 of the grandparents are fluent in Spanish. And so I had them make, in this just regular composition book, conversations with my grandpa in this case, and this is my daughter's. So we did a collage that's full of, just pictures with her and her grandpa. And then, so it's grandpa and grandma in one. So you can see I separated with tabs. So I have them write them a question, something that they want to know about my parents, and then my parents write back. So it's a back and forth journal. And they have it for my parents, and they also have it for my in-laws. And so it's just so special. I also put a little family tree in the back for them to kind of know, their origins. So 2 family trees, one from their grandma, one from their grandpa. And I just think it's just been such a blessing. And it's been a blessing for my in-laws as well. Here's my father-in-law, to be able to just share their childhood stories and their memories. And now I have this treasure that we're going to be able to keep even when they pass. So this is something that I'm going to continue doing. And like I said, it's not super consistent, but I just have them fill it out a few times a year. and it's going to be just a great experience all around. And it gets them practicing writing their Spanish and expressing themselves. I hope that this video has inspired you to go ahead and teach that foreign language. It doesn't have to be super complicated, but also if you are of a different nationality other than American and you want to just encourage your children to embrace another culture, why not do it? You know, just add it in. You have the time. It's such a blessing. Let me know if you do that already. I'd love to hear your ideas. And do you teach them a foreign language? Do you teach them about the culture? I want to know. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.